daimonic here. I have done many mistakes in my life, but there's not a lot of mistakes that I regret as much as I regret this one, which was my first crypto mistake. Now, I will share with you 3 mistakes that I've done so you can learn from me and hopefully not fall for the same pitfalls as I did in the beginning of my cryptocurrency investments. My first mistake: waiting. Waiting for the cryptocurrency market to start booming was my first mistake. Now, I got introduced to the cryptocurrency space early 2013, and at that time I was already well versed in understanding fiat currency and their evil ways, if you will, due to my curiosity and overall love for documentaries. I've watched all sorts of documentaries like the Zeitgeist Addendum, like the Fiat Deception, and all sorts of other documentaries that just gave me this understanding that fiat currency was indeed evil. So I knew, and I had a growing distrust for banks and bankers. But I didn't invest for 2 reasons. One, I was waiting to see some substantial growth, which at that time the price of a Bitcoin was £600. And the other was that I thought everything was very complicated and I should take more time to understand the technology. And lo and behold, I completely missed the opportunity. And what happened is, a couple years after, Bitcoin skyrocketed, just exploded to 12,000 pounds a coin, which then forced me to jump into the cryptocurrency pool. Waiting is really a huge mistake if you're thinking in a sense of making money, because you want to buy things when nobody wants them, and you want to sell them when everybody wants them. Buy low and sell high. My second mistake: crypto vanity. My second mistake in the cryptocurrency space was because I could not afford a whole unit of Bitcoin. I chose to buy a whole bunch of units of Bitcoin forks. The forks of Bitcoin, such as Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, offered at that time a high return with a reasonable low investment, but provided that the coins continue to be used, which saddens me to say the majority of them aren't getting used all that much. Now, although I managed to make some profit with Bitcoin Cash with an investment of £300 at the beginning of 2019, which at that time the price was somewhere around £100 per coin, and selling them at 270, I still feel like I'm at a loss, because had I invested in Bitcoin, I would have made a much bigger return than I did, just because Bitcoin Cash did not grow in the span of 8 months as much as Bitcoin did. And I know a few people who are losing and have lost money on Bitcoin Cash just because they are holding the coin and aren't really planning to let go, despite the ongoing signals that Bitcoin Cash is not doing so well. It is not getting used all that much. And
this is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they die. And these shield boys. Remember this day, man. For it will be yours for all time.
hodlers, release your Bitcoin Cash. Just to give you an example of that, is that Bitcoin Cash was at some point in time the number 3 cryptocurrency on the world, but is currently getting outperformed by LTC and EOS, and I wouldn't be surprised that it fell below number 8 by the end of the year. Just to let you know that. At the same time, a lot of these forks, such as Bitcoin SV and Bitcoin Gold, they do not actually solve any problems. It just sounds like too much of a cash grab, because there's all the cryptocurrencies out there who are actually aiming to make the world a better place, instead of just just using the name Bitcoin to sort of market themselves as something as good as Bitcoin, but really not even that close. So that's my second mistake. Cryptocurrency vanity is a huge problem, and I strongly advise anybody who's thinking about getting into the cryptocurrency market, do not fall for that pitfall, because it is infinitely better to get 10% of Bitcoin than buy 10 Bitcoin Cash. I can assure you that that's fact. Mistake number 3, not mining. Now I know not everyone can afford a top-notch mining rig, but even if you have a low-end mining rig or just an average computer, there's still a tremendous amount of profit that you can be making if you're thinking long-term. One thing to keep in mind is that cryptocurrency as a technology is an 11-year-old child. Yeah, and it takes a good 30 years for any technology to become mainstream or to be adopted by mainstream audiences. It took 30 years for the automobile. It took 30 years for the airplane. It took 30 years for the cell phone. It took more than 30 years for the internet. It takes time for mainstream to finally catch on and to really appreciate the technology for what it is. Cryptocurrencies, absolutely, yes, they are an instrument of freedom. They were designed specifically to help quicken the engines of commerce by removing the middleman. The evil middleman who wants to profit from every single transaction out there, the bankers who just slow down commerce. So by all means, yes, this generation, the generation of the internet, this technology was made specifically for us, for the millennials, to succeed and to change the world, because yes, we were given a tremendous amount of burden. We have a lot of problems to fix on this planet, and it's all on our shoulders. And trusting in the old modules of the previous generation is a mistake if you're thinking about the future. So yes, absolutely, I'm bullish on cryptocurrencies, absolutely. And that's it, guys. Those are my 3 mistakes. Life is a continuous learning experience. There's no lessons without losses, but at the same time, we have to risk to win. And I am bullish on cryptocurrencies. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I am bullish on XPR. I'm bullish on EOS. I am bullish on a lot of the Asian cryptocurrencies, which I'll make a video about it next. So tune in for that. So like, subscribe, follow, comment, whatever. I do this for fun. And yeah, Daimonic out.